Hi, my wonderful Aniiel stars. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a new subscriber, you are highly welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I hope you get value for everything you learn. So, are you interested in learning how to make this beautiful kimono boo jacket inspired by Eyes on Classic ready to wear design? If you are definitely interested, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment to your loved ones so they can also learn from it, and let's get started. Welcome once again, fashion lovelies. So here are the fabrics I'm going to be making use of. This is an ashoke and it is one bundle, and I'll make use of an Ankara of 3 yards. So as for the ashoke, I ended up using just 6 rows out of the 10 rows that is always in the bundle. So before you start drafting, you are going to take the measurement of your ashoke, that is the width, and you write it somewhere. So I want to explain something quickly with this pattern paper. I am going to be illustrating the kimono design on this pattern paper, and what is that thing I would love to explain is that you would notice that on this kimono design, the ashoke took some major part of the length and the width of the kimono, and you will know if you are trying to draft, you have to subtract the ashoke from your actual length. For example, if your length is 42 inches, which is standard for all body sizes, you have to subtract what you got from your ashoke. Like my ashoke is 5.75, so if I subtract 42 inches from 5.75, it will give me the result, and that result is what I will input on my Ankara. I will also remember to add my sewing allowance. Same thing with the sleeve area too, that is from the center of the neckline to where your sleeve will stop at. You have to subtract the ashoke from it, so it will not be too long or too short, to just be the exact measurement you are taking. Another thing is that the measurements we are going to be needing, it will be in this form. That is you placing your tape rule on the center of your back neckline like this, and you will place it on the part you want the sleeve to reach. The beautiful part of this sleeve is you should reach like 3/4 of your hand. That is after your elbow. That's the beautiful thing, but you can make it to stop on your elbow. So unlike the way we used to take our shoulder measurement and all, you don't need that. Just place it at the center of your back neckline like so, and measure the part you want it to reach on the sleeve. Then the next thing also is the length. Though the standard length for this kimono is 42 inches, if the person is a very tall person with height, you can do 44 or 45 inches. Then the last measurement you also need is your round body measurement. So any part that is the biggest on your body, whether your bust, your stomach, or your hip, just one of it. As for me, it is my hip area that is the biggest, so it is my hip area I'll make use of. So that is the 3 measurements you need: your neckline to your sleeve, your length, and the biggest part of your body. So now here is my fabric. I fold it into 2, and as I've explained earlier, the very first measurement I use in telling you that you will need, which is your center back neckline to where your sleeve is. So assume that this folded point is the center back neckline. I am just trying to rule out my starting line because I don't want that selvage to show on the style. It will disfigure it. So after I've ruled the starting line, from this folded part, which will serve as my center back, I'll just input everything I got. So remember that I told you that whatever you get, you will subtract your ashoke measurement from it. So after subtracting, whatever is left is what you will input. So I got 24 inches and I subtracted 5.75 away from it. Then I imputed it. After I now imputed it, I need ½ inch extra to for the joining, as in that's the ½ inch I was using joining the Ankara to the ashoke, and I imputed it. Then afterward, I ruled everything straight down. So you have to rule everything you got straight down. So that's what I'm just doing here. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section. This is a very simple boo, but you just have to get the calculation right. So after you've done that, your length, I told you that the standard length that works is 42 inches. So 42 minus 5.75 that I got from my ashoke gave me 36.25 inches. So that's what I will input. Remember, from the length you measure on your body, you will subtract the ashoke allowance. So whatever you get, you input it. Then after that, you need ½ inch to join the Ankara to the ashoke. That's what you now input. I hope you understand. So that's all. Then lastly is our neckline. So I'll make use of the neck width of 3.5 inches and the neck depth of ½ inch. This work for everybody. whether big or small. It works for every body size. So after that, I am going to add half inch to my starting line. That will be the allowance I'll use in joining the shoulder to shoulder together. And that is all for the back pattern. This is the back pattern we are cutting. So now I'm just going to cut through my lines. So please watch this video again and again to be able to understand. It's not hard at all. If you have any question, ask me. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So now I'm just going to take my time to cut out everything. Don't forget, the extra line on the top is the half inch that I use in joining the shoulder together. So I have cut out everything. And now I'll fold another fabric again, because this will serve as our front fabric. And I'll place the back pattern, the back fabric I've cut out, I'll place it on the new folded one, and I'll make sure that they align well. So take your time to arrange it. If you need to pin it together to save you the stress of the material being shifting, you can do so. So after that, I'll just cut everything out. So as I'm cutting it, the only part I won't cut is the neckline area. Just watch the way I am cutting everything. I'll just cut the main body. The only part I won't cut is the neckline, as you can see. So now I'll try to mark the wrong side, because all these, especially when you're working with original Ankara, they can look alike a lot. So now I will first mark my half inch. Remember that there was this half inch we marked on the shoulder area for joining. So I'll first rule it out so I can know where my starting line starts from. Then I'll impute my neck width of 3.5 inches. That's what we use for the back. Then for the neck depth of the front, it will be 9 inches. This is a standard measurement. This is a ready to wear cloth, so it is a standard measurement. Then from that point I marked 9 inches, I will come in from this center by 2 inches, and I'll rule everything down, because we are going to be cutting off that part to create the place that we are going to be sewing the ashoke into. That's the reason why we are marking the 2 inches. So I'll rule everything and blend it into the neck width like so, for it to give me a slightly V-neck line. And after that, I'm just going to cut everything out. You can see what I cut. I did not cut out my allowance or anything. So just cut everything out like so. And voila, the front pattern is ready. I'm also going to mark the wrong sides like so. Then I will set this aside so that we can cut the pocket. So I want you to look at the method of this pocket I'm going to explain to us. So here is the whole length of the Ankara. I'm going to fold it into 2 like so. Please just watch closely, and I'll fold it into 2 again. So this pocket, I'm going to be cutting a kind of pocket that we have its own lining, because this is a boutique standard kimono I am making, and if you want to achieve something, you have to do it very well. So I'm going to be measuring the width of 8 inches. Is all the length we are going to be making use of, so there's no need for us to measure the length. Also, I'm going to be cutting off that selvage at the upper part. That's why I didn't allow it to be totally equal. So at one part of the pocket, I'll come down by 4 inches, and I will slant it into the other end of the pocket like so, and I'll trim it off. So this is a very good way of achieving neat finishing for your pockets, especially for those who make ready to wear clothes. I will mark the right side, and so I can know the wrong side, I'll try to mark it. Now we are going to be sewing our kimono, and I will place the right side facing the right side of the front and back together, and I'll go and join it at the shoulder area using half inch sewing allowance. So look at the way I place them. Please arrange everything together first before you sew it. Do not arrange it while sewing. So after I've done that, now I'll bring in my ashoke and I'll trim off the rough edges. Then most times ashoke does not have right side or wrong side, but if yours does, please check it. Then I'll fold it everything like so. As you can see, I'm going to be using all the ashoke, and I will arrange my already sewn front and back together like so, and I'll make it to face the right side. So placing my ashoke like this at the neckline area, we are going to be sewing it round the neckline. But one thing I want you to notice is that the moment you are getting to the upper part of the neckline, at that front part that has V, you start pushing your ashoke outside. So even if you are going to be following half inch sewing allowance straight down, when you get to that side, you start pushing it outside, because most times ashoke tends to itch at the neckline area, and I've noticed that from most customer complaints. That's why I decided to share you this tip. So I've gone ahead to sew it. If you check very well, at this area I was sewing half inch with the ashoke and the Ankara, but the moment I started getting to that V part of the front neckline, I started pushing it out little by little. I started pushing it out. By the time it got to the center back area, as in the neckline of the back, I pushed it out very well, so I will not be itching my clients at the neck area, when especially when they are trying to raise their neck. That's the essence. So I'll try to maintain the allowance I took. By the time I'm coming back down like this, I will still return all the allowance I took, like so. That way to make everything to be neat and lovely. I hope you understand what I explained there. You can just give it a try. It's not hard at all. So now I'm going to arrange my clothes very well, like so. You need to keep arranging it so that you can check if you made any mistake. So you can see that it was not even obvious that I dragged the ashoke more than the Ankara. So if you are dragging the ashoke, make sure that you do not drag the Ankara. Just maintain your half inch with the Ankara, and you can see that it's already coming out beautifully well. Now we have to sew our ashoke at the length area. So for the back length, all you need to do is to place your ashoke like this, and you go and sew with half inch sewing allowance. But for the front area, just look at what I am going to do. If you notice, at that part that the ashoke already is at this neckline area, you can't just sew your ashoke like that without taping the tip, unless it will frail. So the first, when you are trying to first join the ashoke at this front area, leave at least 0.75 extra allowance out, so that we are going to use to tape it. So look at what I'm saying. I've gone and joined the back and the front. For the back, I did not bother leaving any 0.75, because another ashoke will still pass through that side. But for the front area, at the side, I didn't leave any ashoke. I still left it like so. But at this front area, I left 0.75. So now that extra I left, now I'll just go and fold it twice, and I will tape it at my machine, so that way to make it to be neat and the ashoke will not be frailing. I hope you understand what I'm explaining. And please let your allowance to be equal. Whatever you take on the front is what you should take. Your half inch should be your half inch, so that the design on the ashoke pattern will align. All those design matters. You are still going to see what I am explaining later in the video. So please make sure that your allowance is equal. Now I'll take this to my machine and go and fold the tip twice. As you can see, I'll go and fold it twice like this to achieve a neat finishing. So I've done that already. I have folded it twice, as you can see, and you can see that the design are aligning, the purple lines and everything is aligning. Those are the things I am explaining to you. If your allowance, if one part is 0.75 and another part is half inch, it will not align. Now I'll bring another ashoke, and this time around we are going to be joining at the side of our boo. So at the beginning of this part, I will push out 0.75 out, and I'll keep sewing. When I get to this other end also, I will leave extra 0.75, because we are going to hem it just like the way we did for that front. So I've gone to join it, and I've already hem it also, so that the ashoke will not frail at that area. You can see how the beauty of this kimono is coming out already. I hope you recreate something like this. So now we are going to work on our pocket. Now I'm going to arrange my pocket right side facing right side, and I'll go and join it at the sides. So I'll take it to my machine and join it at the sides like so. Now I've joined it, and I will turn it out. So that is us turning it out, and this is the right side, you can see. So this kind of design is, it will help you to achieve a very neat finishing, in the sense that when your clients dip their hand into their pockets, they won't feel the rough edges of the pocket at all. So I want to illustrate how you are going to achieve the ashoke design using these pieces. You have to take note of the ashoke you bought. Every ashoke will be different. It might not be what I'm buying. So make sure that any color that is on the main boo design, make sure that at least a touch of it is on the pocket. So I noticed that there is purple on my ashoke design, so I made sure that when I cut out the fabric, the ashoke rather, I make sure that a touch of that purple is also on the pocket area. So that's what I'm just trying to take note of. So you cut a strip out of your ashoke of 2 inches width. So this strip I cut out is 2 inches width, because I'm going to be using to tape my pocket. I'll make sure that I cut it out, and make sure that you cut a very long strip, something that even when you sew it on your pocket, it will still have some little excess, at least like 0.75 excess on each side of the pocket. Now I'll take this to my machine and I will join with half inch. So I've joined it already, as you can see, because we're going to be using it to cover the pocket like so. Now you take it to the machine to top stitch, so it will be well relaxed and it will sit well. I've top stitched it already, as you can see. I top stitch on the pocket so it will show on the other side, it will not reflect on the ashoke. So after that, I'll try to arrange my ashoke like so. I will fold in that extra excess I pushed out, that 0.75 I said you should push out. I will fold it in like so, and I'll use my pin to secure it well. You have to follow the shape of your pocket to get this right. It might not be, you might not get it immediately, so you can try and try again. It was not immediately I got this one too, so you just try to keep folding and aligning it to the shape of the pocket. It is not hard. Then you use your pin to secure it. You also do the other side like so. The extra excess I ask you to leave, you will fold it in. So should in case any rough edges from the sewing allowance is showing, try to trim it off, and you will fold it in like so and use your pin to secure it. So if you are sure of what you folded, you take it to your machine and just tape your ashoke in a little with maybe 0.25 inches, and here it is. As you can see, it was neatly fixed. The ashoke has been neatly fixed to the pocket, and look at our pocket looking so cute. So now I'll bring in the boo so that we can fix the pocket. So here is our boo, and I've arranged it. So from your shoulder line, you are going to measure 18 inches. This is standard. If the person is a very tall person, you can make use of 19 inches, but I actually made use of 18 inches and it worked for every size I've been sewing for. So from that point that you measured 18 inches, from your ashoke design, you will come in by 2 inches. You also do the same thing at the other side, but even if you do it, please try to use your hand to check if they are aligned. Sometimes there might be a little shift, and as small as that thing is, it might not make your ashoke to align and to look the same. And you need to achieve a very neat ashoke pocket, as in your pocket must be very neat and it must be well fixed. So after that, you place your pocket on those points that we have chalked, and you use your pin to secure them, like the way I'm doing in the video. You can see that I don't need to worry about folding in my pocket or using iron to fold it in. All I just need to do is to place my pocket and pin. So that's the reason why we lined the pocket. I hope you now understand the reason why we did that, and it will give you a very neat result. So after pinning it, make sure you pin it, and so that you can be able to know what it will look like after you have finished sewing it. That's why I'm showing you all this procedure. Pin it first. I made a mistake in some of the clothes I made earlier, so I was able to know that I have to pin everything first so that I can know what the pocket will look like after I finish sewing it, so that none of them will shift and it will look equal. Now you go and sew it. So I've sewn my pocket already. The last thing for us to do right now is to shape our ashoke. So I needed a wider space, that's why I spread it on the floor like so. So this is the part whereby the part I told you that you should measure the biggest part of your body. The biggest part of my body is my hip. So my round hip is 44 inches, and I added extra 7 inches to my round hip. So that's what I'll be making use of. So to get the armhole, the part your hand will pass through, from your shoulder measure 11 inches. If the person is a bit big, you can do 12 inches, but 11 inches is standard for whether a big size or a small size. So now I'll measure everything, as in the width of the boo. I'll measure it, and I will subtract my round hip from it. Remember, I told you that I've added 7 inch already to my round hip. So if my round hip is 44 inches plus 7, that's 51. So whatever I get from everything I measure here, I will subtract 51 inches from it. So after I've subtracted it from the total of the kimono jacket, I will now divide my results into 2. Like when I subtracted my new hip measurement from the kimono, I got 18 inches. So that 18 inches I divided into 2. So from this side I measured 9 inches. The other side also I measured 9 inches. You understand? Like from this ashoke at this edge, I'll measure 9 inches. I'll rule it down. from the other side also of that ashoke, I'll measure 9 inches down. So after I measured it, I now tried to confirm what was in the center, and it gave me my new hip measurement divided by 2. Remember, I said my hip is 44. 44 plus 7 gave me 51 inches, and that 51 inches divided by 2 it will give me 25.5 inch. That's 25.5. So that center, I just remeasured it and I got my exact 25.5. And when I measured the other side also, it gave me my 9 inches. Now you go and sew on those lines and your kimono is ready. I hope you learned something new. See you in my next one. Until then, keep winning.